Jill.
And I'm John.
And we're the Geezers on the Go.
Go, go, go!
This time we're at Hardridge Creek, an Army Corps of Engineers campground on the Alabama side of Lake Eufaula. The park is located near both Abbeville and Fort Gaines, near the Alabama-Georgia state line, at the south end of Lake Eufaula. It's a rambling wooded campground with 75 sites in 5 small loops, including 21 sites with full hookups, and it sits on the shores of an 85-mile-long lake that's renowned for its world-class fishing.
The Walter F. George Dam forms Lake Eufaula, and we returned to it after a couple years away, as you already saw. It's an impressive structure that can change moods very quickly. We'll also take a quick run up to another CoE campground on the lake, White Oak Creek, and give you a tour of a very interesting nearby town, quirky little Abbeville. Finally, we'll visit beautiful Blue Springs State Park in nearby Clio, Alabama. It's a place the locals might like to keep to themselves, and who could blame them?
We're here at Hardridge Creek Army Corps of Engineer Campground here in Abbeville, Alabama. We're in Site 65. We're just about on the Alabama-Georgia border on the south end of Lake Eufaula, sometimes called, I think it's Walter George Lake. And we have a full hookup here, water, sewer, and electric. We're in the shady loop. There's a couple different loops. This is the only one that has full hookups. The rest of water and electric. You can sort of see out to the lake out here. I tried walking down here, but you really can't get down to the water unless you jump about 20 feet once you get down to the end. But it has a fish cleaning table, grill, fire pit, nice picnic table. The site itself is concrete. Over here is gravel, but the rest of the site is concrete. And if you see some kind of stuff on the bottom, this is the first time we've ever camped that we've had a problem with some ants. So somebody said to put Comet down, plus I have some Clorox spray, so that seems to be helping. And as we come around here, we're right across from the bathroom, which is good, that there's a laundry there. And we have a little bit of space out front here, the sewer, water, and electric. And we'll take a little walk around. We're in the last loop at the campground. Actually, this is the only one that has full hookups. And as you come in, there's Bayshore, Harbor Pass, Pirates Cove, and Lakeview. And although this is probably a good thing there's full hookups, some of these sites are kind of quirky. Like this one next to us, if you don't get your car back all the way, you're sticking out into that one. And then some of these sites you have, I don't know if you can see, way back there, you have to start from way over here. And your site is way back there, which is okay, but if you're backup challenge, it might take you a while to get there. And then you have this one, so you have that site, you're looking right in the rear of this guy. So that one there's 71 and 70, and then 69 is the one that's way the heck back there. And right next to it, the ones 67 and 68 is a buddy site, so you could have both sites if you have friends. Most of the ones here on the outer loop over here are to the trees, and you can see that one's not too bad. At least there's nobody behind you. And the same with this one. That's 73. Although 73 doesn't have any view of the lake, at least you don't have anybody next to you, just bushes and trees, until you get back over to here to site 74, which is a little bit short, but not too bad, and that also looks into the trees. Since this is a renowned big bass fishing lake. A lot of people bring their boats, and there are extra parking areas that you can put your boat if you bring one. This one, he has enough room here in his site. And let's see, I'm not sure what number that one is, but and it must be 75. Yeah, 75. And then there's another one back here. Here's somebody going back into a really long site there, and he'll need it. He's pretty big. As you come up with a little turn off the main road here up to Shady Loop, you see there is a bathroom up there. But again, some of these sites are kind of strangely situated. This one isn't too bad, 60. But the two over here, they sort of share the end of the driveway. And yet the other day somebody was here and they were all the way at the end, so if you wanted to pull down into number 61, which is way the heck down there, be a long way. Probably one of the better sites here is this one. That's the 63, which is pretty flat and you can look out at the lake and it's easy in. And this one too is sort of a pull through, the one next to us. But a lot of them really oddly laid out. This is the start of our Shady Loop. There's 20 sites in here. And I said they all have water and electric. This one is a super long one. I'm watching this guy get in here. He's got a big fifth wheel. And there's a couple over here. That 77 is the last campsite in the park. But I said this whole section back here is the Shady Loop, and they all have full hookups. The bathroom here is right across from our campsite. Really don't need it because we have full hookups, but there is a laundry here, which I said is pretty good. It's only $1.50. But something I thought that was very weird to be right here by the laundry is there's a sign here that says, "Dangers, alligators present. Do not approach or feed." Now, I don't know if they think the alligators are coming up here to do their laundry, or the fact that it's a little chilly today and the bathrooms are heated, maybe they're cold. But it just seems if the alligators got up here from the lake way over there, that's some aggressive alligator. This is the Bayshore Loop. It's the first one as you come into the park, and it's probably the largest of the 5 loops here at Hardridge. This one has a bunch of sites along the water, and then it has some pull-through sites in the middle on this side. So you can have a view of the lake and down to the lake over there. A lot of these sites, they're on the lake, but they're not easy to get access. You're not really by the lake. This is Harbor Pass Loop, and it's kind of a little bit oddly laid out. There's not that many sites back here. And a couple here against the trees, and there's this couple over here by the lake. And then you got this weird thing here where you'd have to come around the loop here, over here, and then back straight back to the site back there. This is Pirates Cove, and most of these sites, I think all of them are right on the water except for maybe the first one as you come in, but these are really pretty sites as you can see, right along the water. And this little cove, I guess that's why they call it Pirates Cove. As you're coming in on this Pirate Cove, there's this little beach over here, and this is site number 38. This is a nice little pull through. And that looks right out into the water. We have that view from here on one side, and then the view of the lake from the other. Just stopped here real quick in this pull through at site 39 just to get a look at it since nobody's here. And this would be a beautiful spot right along the water. Great views of Lake Eufaula. This is what it looks like at the other side of that 39, so you have views from both sides over here. And right beyond where that little pavilion is a beach. And there's a guy going to go out on his kayaking, fishing. Beautiful spot. The loop right before our Shady Loop is Lakeview. And right here there's a little teeny playground for the kids. Not much there, but something to keep them happy for a while. And this is like a pretty loop because it goes right down towards where the beach area is. Site 48 sits a little back here where you get a decent view, but I would think 49 is probably one of the nicer ones here, and it's be an easy shot to pull straight back. And you got, all I got to do is walk down here and you can sit down at the beach. They do have a very nice beach here too, where you can swim or kayak or just enjoy the sun and the sand. Right before you get to where the check-in station is here, as you enter the park, this at Hardridge Creek, is the boat launch. But the boat launch also has this nice big area here for picnicking.
There's the boat launch there where the yellow curb is. Nice looking launch.
Takes you out to the big lake.
Yep, takes you out to the big lake, but you got to pay a fee first. So I don't know what the fee is.
$5.
But Jill says $5. Guy out there fishing.
It's a good place to park and just throw in if you don't have a boat, maybe.
Yeah, I'll probably do a little shore fishing from here.
It's just a little bit down from the boat launch. You just keep following the road. We were down here the other day before we had this gigantic rainstorm last night, and the water has just turned like a chocolatey brown from all the clay in the water, or not in the water, in the ground around us. It looks like a different lake almost. Here you can see a little bit better how brown the water is here. A lot of areas in the park have all this downed trees and dead trees, and we thought when we originally came in that it might have been a tornado came through, but I was told that they had a bad infestation of pine beetles, so they're now cutting everything down and trying to get rid of them, making a mess. This is the Walter George Dam on Lake Eufaula, which officially is called the Lake Walter George. And right now, there's hardly any water coming over the dam. We'll have to find our comparison pictures from a couple of years ago where the water was just crashing over. But it seems like the birds down there are having a great old time. Down here by the dam, there is a little walking bridge we can go across that says you can go fishing from, but it says if you hear the sound, the horn sound, you better get out of here because the water could be rising. It looks like we can walk down to the bottom of the dam here, and we'll take a quick walk down and see where you can go fishing down here. And you can fish right there at the bottom of the dam. And there's a guy down there right now trying his luck. We've been in this area a couple times before camping, and we thought we'd seen and explored just about everything there was.
Yeah, but we found out we hadn't seen it all.
No.
We have stayed a bunch of times at a place called Cotton Hill, which is an Army Corps of Engineers campground on the Georgia side of the lake.
And we're now on the Alabama side.
Now we're on the Alabama side. And it's a nice park. We like it. There's some drawbacks to it, however.
Right. We're in what's called the Shady Loop, which is the only one that has full hookups. And I would say don't stay in the full hookups one. The other sites are better.
The best sites are in the other part of the park. These ones, they look like because they were full hookups, they jammed a few too many of them in. Yeah, so you feel like you're back to everybody. But the park itself is really pretty. There's lots of places to fish or sit, and there's a couple little beaches. One of the nicest parts about this park is the easy access to the lake. Everywhere you go in this park, there's places to fish, and there's beaches, and
there's a nice big boat launch right before you get to the check-in station, and there's about 3 or 4 other places right along the road out here that you can go in and dump your boat in.
Yeah, and we got a chance to see some other parks in the area too. White Oak Creek, which is a nice park.
That's another CoE, and that's about maybe 10-15 miles a little north of here, also on Lake Eufaula.
And there were a few others, and we'll take you out and we'll show you those parks too. We also got to go into a really cool little town.
Yeah, Abbeville, which they decided to make the town look sort of retro 50s. They got a lot of old neon signs for older stores.
Old advertising and everything. It was part of a restoration project,
right.
I think, in about...
a couple years back.
Recent.
Yeah. And there's a nice, real cool ice cream soda restaurant called Hug and Molly's, which we went to, and that was really nice.
We went to Hug and Molly's on a recommendation that Jill got off of Facebook.
Thank you.
And then the waitress at Hug and Molly's recommended Blue Springs State Park, which we went to, and we're going to show you that too, because that is the hidden gem of Alabama, I think. Another CoE, White Oak Campground, is just 12 miles from Hardridge, so let's take a look at some of its 130 sites. This is the Creekview Loop. Almost empty. All this prime real estate just waiting to be camped in. These sites have water and electric. I don't see any sewer hookups. Haven't seen any since we entered the park, but not to say they aren't hiding a few away someplace. But we're in the Mallard Point Loop now. This is very nice. I got some really nice spots right along the lake here. This is the same lake we're on, I think, right?
Yeah.
Lake Eufaula. Got some really nice sites down by the lake here in this River Chase Loop as well. People bringing their fishing poles. This is a world-class bass lake. Probably got some tremendous catfish and panfish fishing in it too.
I caught a 6-pound bass here.
Yeah.
We also got to visit the nearby towns of Fort Gaines and its frontier village, and then on to funky little Abbeville and Hug and Molly's Soda Fountain. This is what they call Frontier Town here in the town of Fort Gaines in Georgia, on the opposite side of the lake from where we are, and this is supposed to be a little replica of the fort. So a lot of these buildings here, a lot of it has the original wood that was used, and they were moved from other places to make this little town down here. And over here we have, this says it was the grist mill, and that looks like it might have been one of the grinders. And everybody needed one of these. This was the privy. We're here in Abbeville, which comes from a Indian word called Yada Abba. And that's how they got Abbeville from it. And it actually means dogwood trees, and that's what they're supposed to be famous for. They have a lot of dogwood trees. I haven't seen it, might be a little bit too late for them, but again, there's all this whole history of the town, and the whole town just seems to have a big nostalgic feel. There's lots of neon, and even inside all the buildings, if you look in at the businesses, they all have neon signs. Cool place here in Alabama.
We've decorated the buildings on this street here with a bunch of old advertising signs for different model cars. Very cool. They've really gone out of their way here. There's Hug and Molly's. We're going over there for lunch. And all up and down the streets here they have very different vintage advertising, and it's really pretty cool. There's Jill. She's having her lunch.
It's the special of the day.
The fried chicken special.
Good.
Here at Hug and Molly's.
This is Blue Springs State Park, about 30 miles west of our campground at Hardridge. And somebody told us we should come here because they have these cool blue springs.
Yeah, this spring is pretty popular among the locals in the summertime because it stays at a constant 68 degrees.
And You said how much water does it pump through here?
Well, it's fed by springs, which explains the clarity of the water and the temperature. And the spring apparently pumps in about 3,600 gallons per minute into these two pools.
Per minute?
Per minute.
Oh, wow.
And then it goes over the spillway there down below and into the creek, and eventually into the
Chattahoochee River, right?
River.
We'll get the name right later.
Yeah, I'll spell it put a graphic up.
But yeah, you can see, look at how clear the water is down there. I can even see along the edges, you probably can't see it, but I see little fishies. And then beyond here on the other side, we'll see that later, there's a fishing pond too that you can come to. So this is just so pretty. You can see just above there where the water comes out of the spring and into this little creek, and it stays clear just until it gets to the river here, and then you can see how it just starts to blend in and blends in there with that murky brown water. One more view here of the park with the little playground in the background and the bathhouse and the two ponds coming down, little falls down through the creek, and down out to the river. This is the fishing pond here at Blue Springs, a nice place to go fishing, or like these people are doing, feeding the ducks. So good little size pond. There's probably some sunfish or panfish in here. Who knows, it could be even a bass.
This is the campground area at Blue Springs. There's a playground over there, and one of those old-timey spinner thingies that every kid has gotten sick on at least once. There's a camper. There's not a lot of people in this campground. I think it might be a one of those what do you call them, hidden gems?
Yeah.
I would say bring your leveling blocks if you come here. But outside of that, I mean, the sites are, a little rustic, I guess, but they're pretty nice. So you got a big rig in there. This is campsite 30 here. That's a full hookup site. As you can see, these sites are not paved, they're gravel sites. Some of them look pretty even, some of them a little bit uneven, but
Not too bad.
they're all nice looking. I mean, they look like fun campsites to be in. Here's 34. They have, 47 campsites here, I think?
Yeah, and I think just 7 are full hookups.
Yeah, 7 are full hookups. I can't think of a prettier place to end our trip to Hardridge and the area. Glad you could join us, and as always, we'll see you down the road.